Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that's probably sitting in your kitchen right now, or at least you've seen it all over your social media feed. I'm talking about apple cider vinegar. You know, that tangy amber liquid that health influencers are chugging like it's some kind of magical elixir that'll transform your life overnight. So here's the thing. I've been seeing these claims everywhere. Weight loss, blood sugar control, better skin, detoxification, you name it. And I thought, okay, we need to separate the facts from the hype. Because honestly, some of these claims sound too good to be true, right? So I spent the last few weeks going through actual medical studies, talking to nutritionists, and really digging into what science actually says about apple cider vinegar. Let's start with what apple cider vinegar actually is. It's basically fermented apple juice. You take apples, crush them, add yeast to ferment the sugars into alcohol, and then bacteria convert that alcohol into acetic acid. That acetic acid is the main active component, making up about 5 to 6% of the vinegar. And that's where most of the supposed benefits come from. Now, the biggest claim you'll hear is about weight loss. I mean, scroll through Instagram for 5 minutes, and you'll find someone claiming they lost 20 pounds just by drinking apple cider vinegar every morning. But what does the research actually say? There was a study published in the Journal of Functional Foods in 2018 that followed 39 participants over 12 weeks. Half of them consumed apple cider vinegar daily while following a restricted diet, and the other half just followed the restricted diet. The group that drank the vinegar lost an average of about 8.8 pounds, while the control group lost around 5 pounds. So yes, there was a difference, but here's the catch. Both groups were on a calorie-restricted diet. The vinegar wasn't some magic bullet. It might have helped slightly, but it wasn't doing the heavy lifting. Another study from Japan in 2009, published in Bioscience, Biotechnology, and Biochemistry, found that participants who consumed 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar daily lost between 2 to 4 pounds over 12 weeks. Again, modest results. We're not talking about dramatic transformations here. The researchers suggested that acetic acid might help suppress fat accumulation and improve metabolism, but we're talking about really subtle effects. So if you're thinking apple cider, vinegar is going to melt away pounds while you're still eating whatever you want. I hate to break it to you, but that's not happening. At best, it might give you a very slight edge, when combined with a healthy diet and exercise. Now let's talk about blood sugar. This is actually where apple cider vinegar shows some genuinely interesting promise. There have been several studies showing that consuming vinegar with meals can help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood sugar spikes, especially after eating carbohydrate-rich foods. A study from Arizona State University, published in the journal Diabetes Care in 2004, found that taking 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before bedtime lowered fasting blood sugar levels by 4 to 6% the next morning. In people with type 2 diabetes, that's actually pretty significant. Another study showed that consuming vinegar with a high-carb meal reduced the blood sugar spike by about 34% in people with insulin resistance. The theory is that acetic acid interferes with enzymes that help digest starch, so the carbs get absorbed more slowly. But before you throw away your diabetes medication, this doesn't mean apple cider vinegar is a cure. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, you absolutely need to work with your doctor. Apple cider vinegar might be a helpful addition to your management plan, but it's not a replacement for proper medical care. If you're finding this information helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel reach more people who are trying to cut through all the health misinformation out there. All right, now let's address the detox claims. This is where things get a bit murky. You'll see people saying apple cider vinegar detoxifies. Your liver cleanses your body of toxins, all that stuff. Here's the reality. Your liver and kidneys are already incredibly efficient at detoxifying your body. That's literally what they're designed to do. There's no scientific evidence that apple cider vinegar enhances this process in any meaningful way. The whole concept of needing to detox with special drinks is mostly marketing. Your body is detoxing constantly, every single day, without you needing to do anything special. So if someone's selling you a detox protocol based on apple cider vinegar, that's a red flag. What about digestion and gut health? This is interesting because fermented apple cider vinegar, the kind with the mother in it, does contain some probiotics. These are beneficial bacteria that can support gut health. However, the amount of probiotics in a tablespoon or 2 of vinegar is relatively small, compared to what you'd get from actual, probiotic-rich foods like yogurt, kefir, or kimchi. Some people report that apple cider vinegar helps with bloating or indigestion. The thinking is that it might increase stomach acid production, which could help if you have low stomach acid. But if you have acid reflux or GERD, adding more acid could actually make things worse. So this is very individual, and what works for one person might not work for another. Now, here's something important we need to talk about: the potential downsides. Because yes, there are some risks. First, apple cider vinegar is highly acidic, with a pH of around 2.5 to 3. Drinking it undiluted can seriously damage your tooth enamel. We're talking about erosion that's irreversible. There have been case reports of people who drank apple cider vinegar regularly and ended up with significant dental problems. It can also irritate your throat and esophagus. I've read about cases where people experienced burns in their throat from drinking it straight. So if you're going to consume it, you absolutely need to dilute it. Most recommendations suggest 1 to 2 tablespoons in at least 8 ounces of water. There's also the issue of drug interactions. Apple cider vinegar can interact with certain medications, particularly diabetes medications and diuretics. It can lower potassium levels, which is dangerous if you're on medication that already affects potassium. Again, if you're on any medications, talk to your doctor before making apple cider vinegar a regular part of your routine. So where does this leave us? Is apple cider vinegar a miracle drink or an overhyped myth? Honestly, it's somewhere in between. It's not completely useless, but it's definitely not the cure-all that social media makes it out to be. The evidence suggests it might help slightly with blood sugar control, particularly after meals. That's the most robust finding we have. It might contribute to very modest weight loss when combined with calorie restriction and exercise, but it's not doing anything magical. The detox claims are basically nonsense. And while it contains some beneficial compounds, you could get similar or better benefits from a well-rounded diet that includes fermented foods, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. My take: if you enjoy the taste and want to add it to salad dressings or use it in cooking, go for it. If you want to try having a diluted tablespoon in water before meals to potentially help with blood sugar, that's reasonable, especially if you've talked to your doctor. But don't expect it to transform your health or replace actual healthy lifestyle habits. The real miracle isn't in any single food or drink. It's in the boring, unglamorous stuff we all know we should be doing. Eating a balanced diet with plenty of vegetables, getting regular exercise, managing stress, sleeping well, staying hydrated with actual water. That's what genuinely moves the needle on your health. Apple cider vinegar can be part of a healthy lifestyle, but it's not the foundation. Don't fall for the hype that says you can hack your way to health with one simple trick. Your body is way more complex than that, and it deserves better than shortcuts. If this video helped you understand the truth about apple cider vinegar, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're all about evidence-based health information here, cutting through the noise and giving you the real story. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.